You're such an asshole.
Asshole Consultant, how you kids doing? Dear Asshole, I like screwing over the tax man, so starting this year I'll be making tax-deductible donations to ensure that the Fed never sees a penny from me during tax seasons. I don't think that's possible, because I think you have a $12,000 limit for tax deduction, or to charitable deductions on the IRS. I looked it up here. Ever wonder if there was a maximum limit to how much you could donate to charity and deduct from taxable income? Believe it or not, the IRS has charitable donation limit maximums. While this may not seem like something you'd ever encounter, it would not be wise to completely write off that possibility. If you intend to donate a large cash or high-value non-cash amount to a qualified 501c3, it is in your best interest to get the fully allowable tax deduction in generosity. Are all donations tax deductible? No. What is the maximum charitable donation? Where is it? Things get tricky. The maximum charitable donations amounts, but they're a percentage and not a defined dollar amount. The percentages are based off of what you donate and who you donate to, with a maximum qualified charitable contribution of 50% of your adjusted gross income. All right. Maybe from a limited. Be more than 50. Your deduction may be further limited to 30 or 20% of all your adjusted gross income, depending on the type of property you give and type of organization you give it to. Limits of 2017, these are the income limits. Yeah, however, if your income is above certain limits, you may be limited to what you can deduct. 156,000 married filing separately, 262,000 single, 288,000 head of household, 313. So if you make too much money, you won't be able to get that deduction. In other words, there's you'll definitely want to talk to someone like Chad Elkins, but there's a limit. Yeah, and then here's the, I don't know, charitable donation deduction crash. Standard 12,000 individuals. 2019, 12,200. Yeah, so it's not like you're going to be able to eliminate all of your taxable income and leave the government nothing. You'll be able to cut into it a little bit, but you're not going to do that. Be able to eliminate it always. But I like to double dip, so I don't want to just deny the Fed the money. I want to make sure my donations go to good causes, not feel-good causes. What I want to know is which organizations you believe are the best for constitutionalists, libertarians, conservatives, minarchists, whatever we're calling ourselves this week, to donate to. The two I know for certain are sure bets are Project Veritas and the NRA Foundation, not the NRA proper. The latter being the only conservative organization to have conserved anything. Any suggestions on organizations, advice on how to go about making donations, general information, what type of organizations or campaigns are tax deductible in the first place, or any other miscellany you could think of, would be greatly appreciated. If you can get all your followers to deny the tax man his booty and fund these projects, I think the world would be a much better place. Now they're going to get their money. They'll just print it off. Please link to whichever organizations you recommend below. Get back to me. I'll pay ASAP. And then you mentioned the one that I would, and that was the Innocence Project. You followed up on an email, and I'll agree with that one. The other two are fine. But here's what I'm going to tell you when it comes to charitable donations. I do not donate to charity because charities haven't solved shit. I think the last time a charity solved something was the March of Dimes. The problem, obviously, with charities is many people use them as a money-making operation with absolutely no intention of solving the problem. You see that officially codified with the federal government and state governments, where they have welfare-type programs where the people who work at the Department of Welfare, or whatever the state equivalent is, the last thing they want people to do is get out of poverty and get off welfare, because then they have to get real jobs. So the vast majority of charity is not for the intended recipients. The vast majority of charity are for the people who work at the charities and cowardly and hypocritically use the pain and sufferings and the misfortune of others to enrich themselves. I just find it despicable. And then on an operational level, I don't see charity solving problems. I don't. Some people have said St. Jude's children's cancer, because children in cancer, of course. Well, then they refunded, what was it, Dick Masterson or Medicare? they did a live stream. They raised a bunch of money, but because some people who donated were making Nazi jokes or claimed to be Nazis, that money was then rejected. The people who work in nonprofits are just scum. They're lazy, no good scum who don't want to work. That's it. That's where your money's going to. Now, there are websites out there that will rate the charities. You can search them, there's a couple of them. And it'll show you what percent of the money actually gets to the intended recipients. But even then, I just don't donate to charity because it's a middleman and it doesn't work. Now, if you want to help, you really want to help, some of those, the Innocence Project I like a lot. That one I do like that. You can do Project Veritas or the NRA Foundation. You can go online and search and find, conservative charities or libertarian charities or pro-America charities. You could certainly do that. But what I have found is charity starts at home. If you really want to help out somebody, be in control of who you give the money to. Don't give it to some third-party middleman who then claims they're going to give it to the little kids who got cancer. Don't give it to some ditz who has their master's in social work and found out that if she sets up a 503c and we sell pink ribbons to everybody, we'll never cure women's cancer, but you'll make millions in the process. There's another one, like there's a buddy of mine, he works in an anti-sex trafficking organization. That might be another one you might want to look into. But I donate close to home. I will help out. I won't even help out the parents of some kids I know. The money goes right to the kids. Like, no, fuck you. The reason I got to give the kid money is because you fucked up and you didn't have enough money to buy the kid Christmas gifts, all right? You don't get the money. The kid gets the money. People you know personally who worked hard and have genuinely fallen upon bad times by no fault of their own. That's how I would do charity. And I have on some marginal token amount, but for me to really give charity, I don't think I've ever given adult charity. Now I have lent some. Now I did pay somebody gas money, so she could get out of a certain state. I did do that. And then every once in a while, if I meet some like poor client of mine, I'll buy them lunch or something like that. But aside from that, I would do it at home. And then if you wanted to, surefire way, you could create a 503c. Go create something that, like, no, it only goes to the STEM majoring dudes fund, where you got to be a dude and you got to be majoring in STEM. It goes into the divorce rape fund or something. I don't know. Then you could control where your money goes, make sure the majority of the money gets there, aside from operating expenses and costs. But yeah, I just wouldn't donate to any charity. I really wouldn't. But your idea to use this to get rid of your tax bill is just not going to happen. In full, I mean. You can lower it. Any suggestions or organizations, advice on how to go making donations, general information, what types of organizations are campaigning tax deductible. They have to disclaim that up first. You got to make sure 503c and that your donations are tax deductible. I would use that website that I mentioned before. Just look up charity donation or charity rankings or ratings. God, that's been around for at least 10 years. Any other miscellany you could think would be greatly appreciated. Contact Chad Elkins before you do this. Contact your accountant, your tax accountant before you do this. Because you may not be able to donate to charity if you make too much money, because the government needs their gimme-dats. They need their gimme-dats. Please link to whatever organizations you recommend to leave it. Nah, I'm not going to link because I don't recommend any. Hey, the Captain Capitalism Fund. There you go. There'll be links down to my Patreon. There's a charity I like. You know where it goes? Me. Do I need it? No. Will it go to anything charitable or noble? No, not really. Just go to me. All right, that's it. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. We'll see you all there. Toodles.